Okay, so I gotta ask, this is probably a question that you've been getting all day, but where were you when you first saw Independence Day? How old were you? You might have been pretty young.
I was 6 years old.
Yeah?
And I watched it on VHS.
VHS?
Yep. I had a copy of it at my house. My brothers, I think, had acquired the copy, and I wasn't technically allowed to watch it, but I watched it.
I overheard you before say that you really like the movie Spaceballs.
I do. It's one of my favorite movies. Literally one of my favorite childhood movies, and still one of my favorite movies to this day. Incredible movie.
Did you get to talk to Bill Pullman?
You know, I've hung out with Bill a couple times, and he's an amazing guy. Really just genuine, intelligent, nice guy. And every time I've hung out with him, I've wanted to bring it up, the whole Spaceballs thing, but I'm not, you know, out of respect, I haven't brought it up yet. But there'll be a moment, I'll bring it up.
In the 5 minutes I got with him, I almost brought it up, so.
It's tough, but when I look at him, that's all I think about. I'm like, Spaceballs.
So you've done a lot of huge movies, but you've done some great indie stuff too, like Cut Bank, which is great.
Thanks,
How is it when you make a movie like this on this kind of scale with so much blue screen and so much green screen? How do you wrap your head around it? How do you get into the character?
It's a whole different process. You know, you're not so much working off something. You just kind of have to throw yourself in it. And I think the better thing is to do is go really big.
Yeah.
And just go for it. You know, and you know, when you have a director like Roland, you can really just trust in him.
He knows
what he's doing. He knows what he's looking for. He knows what he needs to get. So if you just kind of go for it, and he's okay with it, then.
Well, I mean, you know, people always seem to think that these movies would be easy to do, but I think they'd be harder to do, right?
Yeah, you know what? It's interesting. It's just a different process. It's not that it's harder or easier. It's just a different process. You know, I mean, at the end of the day, you're acting, so. Mm-hmm. Just requires a different sort of process.
So what kind of prep do you put into a role like this? Like, I imagine like it must have been quite the process getting cast, because you've got a massive franchise now on your shoulders. Not to freak you out or anything, but it is.
Yeah. No, it's.
But you look funny in it. Like, you look like a personable guy in it, though. Like, you're fun, like a funny character.
Yeah, he's a very outspoken, kind of smart ass. You know, he's a good guy essentially, but. He's a fun character. He's what's been good is we've had this relationship with the two writers of this film, James L. Woods and Nick Wright, and then Roland, and we've had this fall off my seat. Had this really good relationship, this collaboration where we've kind of everyone's sort of bouncing ideas off each other, and we're able to kind of improv stuff a lot, but work out ideas of really trying to find good comedy in moments where it's needed and. It's just been a lot of fun, you know, kind of a different character to things I've played before.